I talk to hundreds of business owners every single month, people who are trying to start businesses and don't know where to go, people who have started businesses and they can't figure out how to scale, people who actually have a pretty good business but can't break through a certain threshold, and everybody in between. And I've learned a tremendous amount about what it takes to actually scale a business and why so many entrepreneurs stay stuck and can't break through to the next level. And it comes down to two primary reasons that I'm going to talk about really briefly in this video. I'm not going to talk about who I am because you probably don't care. You just want to hear value and understand how to scale your business, or if you're an entrepreneur, learn how to be more successful. So I'm just going to jump right into the value. The first reason entrepreneurs can't scale, it comes down to a pattern that shows up in their habits and their mindset, which is the pattern of whether they make decisions and think based on scarcity or abundance. So for example, 90% of the business owners I talk to have a scarcity mentality, which means that they make decisions based on fear and how much they currently have and based on the experiences they've had in the past. This keeps them stuck because they keep making decisions the same way and expect to get different results. They're not willing to do what's necessary and take a step into a new direction to try something new and innovative that is scary, but ultimately is the next step in their business. If you have a scarcity mentality, you're constantly thinking about where money's going and you're trying to pinch pennies because you want to have a good profit and you're not reinvesting abundantly back into your business. If you have a scarcity mentality, you're looking usually for reasons not to make a decision instead of reasons to make a decision. And if you have a scarcity mentality, you usually let fear dictate how you go about your day-to-day life and what habits you do because you're just trying to survive. Like you're essentially stuck in survival mode rather than being a visionary and taking strides to scale your business and improve your personal life. One specific thing I see in business owners is when they have a scarcity mentality and they're afraid of everything, they typically try to control everything in their business instead of delegating. This obviously doesn't work because you can't do everything the best that you can if you're in charge of every single task, because you burn out. It's just too much overload and you can't give each task and each responsibility the attention it deserves to scale the business. And yet those business owners are too afraid to delegate because they think that they can do everything the best themselves, when in the reality is that they're the bottlenecks to their own business and they're holding themselves back. The second thing is they're always obsessing over the dollars. They're thinking about how much money's coming in. They're obsessing over what the Stripe dashboard says on their payment processor, instead of thinking about creating value in systems. If you look at people like Jeff Bezos, Amazon wasn't profitable for the first several years of its existence. And so you even had stakeholders and shareholders who were really afraid. They were operating based on fear, and yet the vision that Jeff Bezos had to continue to instill faith in those shareholders, that there was a bigger picture that was unfolding with Amazon. Ultimately, his leadership and his abundance mentality led to what is now the largest company in the entire world. Same thing with Elon Musk. When he sold out of his first major acquisitions, he ended up pouring all of that money into new ventures. He had a vision. He wasn't trying to pinch pennies and retire and basically dick around the rest of his life. He actually had a vision and wanted to build things. And so he operated from abundance, understanding that money was a resource that could be used and he didn't have to pinch pennies. Ultimately, the most successful business owners that I talk to and that I meet are the ones who understand that they need to continually invest in themselves and invest in their business. Profits are obviously important, but those will continue to compound and they will accelerate and they will continue to grow at an exponential rate if you're focused on value and pouring back into your business rather than pinching pennies and trying to take the biggest paycheck you can from your tiny little business. The best entrepreneurs I know stay broke and they're constantly putting more fuel back into the engine, and they're continually sowing more seeds to scale their business effectively. What I mean by sowing seeds is they're viewing their business as a garden and a vineyard that they are growing in the long term rather than something that they're trying to build really quickly and ultimately just burn through cash in the short term. Number two, the biggest thing I've learned about talking to entrepreneurs is that your business ultimately is a reflection of you. It's a reflection of who you are inside. It's a reflection of your character and all of those other things. You don't need to be an expert at everything. You just need to be a leader worth following, because if you're trying to do everything in your business and you don't have time to work on yourself and develop your inner world and become somebody that's worth following, then not only will you suck at all the tasks because you're spreading yourself too thin, but you won't be attracting top tier talent from around you because you're not leaving enough space for people to see the talents that you have and the leadership that you exhibit. And so they won't follow you. And so you end up staying stuck in every single seat, wearing all of the hats in your business, and you can't scale beyond where you are. Character attracts top tier talent. This is what I've seen time and time again. You look at the best leaders, you look at the best business owners, the ones that have been successful business owners for their entire career and have continued to compound their businesses and success are the ones who are noble characters. They exhibit leadership, they exhibit courage, they exhibit a healthy amount of risk taking, they have competence, they are well studied, they have a good home life. There's so many things that you need to develop within yourself before you can ever expect to lead a great business. This involves integrity, it involves honesty, it involves groundedness and being rooted in true principle. Because when the tides come and you have a business that is facing a storm, you need to be the leader that guides your team and your employees through that. And if you're not capable of staying steady through that, you're not worthy of being followed. And so you probably should keep doing all the tasks, but at the end of the day, if you are, once again, you're spread too thin and can't give each task the attention it deserves. So developing yourself is the biggest investment that you can make as a business owner. And you'll find that however your inner world is, whatever's going on in your thoughts, whatever your heart's desires are, those will manifest in your business. I see people who get quick success, but ultimately it's built on sand because you find out later that they're not profitable, their cash flow plummets, they get into lawsuits. There's all these things that happen when someone scales quickly off of a faulty character on a faulty foundation. Those never last. And so if you're serious about being successful in your life as an entrepreneur, it's super important that you develop qualities, characteristics, and a principled way of living that other people with those same attributes are drawn to. And then when they bring talent to your company, you can start to outsource that and watch it scale measurably more quickly. If you're steady, if you're competent, if you're trustworthy, then the people that are really good at what they do, the killers, they will want to follow that. They will want to step into the vehicle that's already moving, that's reliable, so that they can maximize their talents and be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. You have the capacity to be that. Those two things, having an abundance mentality over a scarcity mentality and really developing a noble, trustworthy, and reliable character that other people can follow to attract outside talent. Those are the most important things that I've seen in my own business that's helped it scale. And those are the things that I see lacking in so many business owners that have this desire to make money, but ultimately they lack the character and principles and mindset to do so in a way that's going to last for years. I love connecting with other like-minded entrepreneurs, people who are scaling online businesses, service-based businesses, people that are trying to develop a brand of actual value, trustworthiness in this washed out market full of people that are just trying to make a quick buck and that are fabricating identities online in order that they can make profit. There's too much noise today, so I'm striving to share this message that there's still business owners that are value-driven, principle-centered, and trying to build an authentic brand. I'll link my socials if you want to connect. I'm not going to put a call to action in this video because that kills brands. Appreciate you watching. Hope you got some value. Cheers.